One of the biggest changes we've made in our detailing business in recent time is adding two new services. And that's vinyl wrapping. So that's when you change the color of a vehicle, and then paint protection film, PPF. Now, probably in early 2024, we'll probably most likely also add window tinting to our services. But this has really changed the way we look at our business and the way we're going to operate moving forward. And it's a great segue to our sponsor, Jobber, because when I was mobile detailing on my own, when Lex joined, when we got our first big van, when we got our first shop, when we got our first employee, when we added our second employee, when we added more and more services, we've been using Jobber every day in our business over the last 4+ years, whether it's scheduling out the calendar with jobs, whether it's sending appointment reminders to the customers, whether it's keeping track of the customer's information, whether it's employees clocking in or out. We've been using Jobber every day in our business. If you want to get a free 14-day trial plus a special discount, click the link down in the description box and give it a try. So over the last few weeks, we have done a full wrap on an Infiniti Q50S. Then, what are you doing, Zeke? You got the zoomies. We had a full wrap on a Hyundai Kona, and then we had a correction and coating and a front end PPF on an Audi A6 or S6. And the way it's changed our business is that before, let's say 3 months ago, let's say 6 months ago, we were obviously still doing mobile detailing, and we would do detailing services, interior cleaning, headlight restorations, wash and wax, and then we would do correction and coatings. And I divide those two because I think most detailers would agree that those are two separate kind of categories of services. It's still detailing, don't get me wrong, but correction and coatings are kind of held to a different standard or a different category than detailing services. So we've always, obviously been doing detailing and correction and coatings, and then once we, in January of this year, we, kind of started talking about offering vinyl wrap. And then over the last 10 months, we've been slowly but consistently practicing and training and practicing and training. And we'd book a customer, we'd get more experience, we'd train and book another customer, do it, get more experience, train and book another customer and train. So this year was really focused on learning and training and getting the experience that we need to take the next step in the process of what we're doing. So 2023 was more of a learning experience with adding these two new services, and we still have a lot to learn. Don't get me wrong. There's still a lot to learn. We're not masters, but it did lay down the foundation of okay, we understand what we're doing now, right? There's still a lot to learn, but we get the foundation of what we need to do. So moving into 2024, we will focus more on paint protection film, vinyl wrapping, correction, and coatings. That's going to be our main focus, or at least we're going to increase those customers moving into 2024, because now, again, the last 6 months has been we're learning, right? We sent Angel to Jade the Rat Specialist for training. We sent Angel to get trained at Chicago Auto Pro with paint protection film. We signed up with Optical for their PPF, and again, we'll send Lex or Angel to go get trained for window tinting, and we'll go through that whole process. So it was a very one word could sum it up with the new services was we were learning. And over the last few weeks, again, we did the full wraps on those two vehicles and the PPF, and that's kind of changed our perspective of how we want to run our business, because with the mobile van over the last 3 or 4 months, I think we've probably been mobile maybe 5 times. And it's not that we're not getting leads for our mobile services, because we are. But what happens is Lex will say, hey, our next availability is in 2 weeks from now. Or if you'd like to bring it to the shop, we have, this Tuesday at 9 a.m. So let's say out of 10 customers, 6, 7 of those customers will agree to bring it to our shop. And, it just, running a shop versus running a mobile van is a night and day difference. Probably the biggest thing that the mobile van can, at our point in our business, right? If you're just getting started or you're in your first year of detailing and you're mobile, that's going to be completely different than if you have a shop and a mobile van and you have the option. It's going to be dependent on where you are in your business. But I'd say for sure, the thing I miss most with the mobile van is just being out in different environments. Here at the shop, it's great. Don't get me wrong. You have a restroom, an office, you can eat, you're more comfortable. You're not affected by the weather. You can stack the schedule with multiple cars. Fantastic. but it is the same four walls every single time. You know, it gets a little mundane. The cool thing about mobile is that like you're always going somewhere to a new neighborhood, a new house, trying a new restaurant. Like some of the best memories I've had has always been when I'm mobile, not really when I'm at the shop, right? Not to downgrade or talk down on the shop at all, but it's like the mobile environment is like it just has that different factor because you're always out somewhere. Now that being said, the weather, the traffic, that easily gets in the way and really messes up the schedule. And that's why we've been thinking about like, well, we've been mobile maybe 5 times the last 3-4 months. Like, why do we still have this van? Do we sell it? Do we wait? Do we hire someone to run it? And I think the notion is like, we'll probably just end up selling it, which is like kind of crazy to me because I've been a mobile detailer for 10 plus years. Like that is what I know. That's what I've done. So to get rid of that van, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of like, should we really do that? And the next thing that people always say is like, no, don't do that. Like, expand, hire someone to run your mobile van. And that's an option. Remember, Lex and I did that for like half a year, right? Lex and I did not go mobile for many months because we had a mobile crew. Like we've already gone through that process. The mobile van has ran on its own without Lex or I going out. So we've already done that. And the thing with that is like, could you hire someone to run the mobile van? Of course, right? But then you have to look at the pros and cons and just what's the opportunity cost? Because at the shop, we can stack the schedule, right? With whether it's just like details, whether we have a full vinyl wrap going, and then we have, multiple details, like you can stack so many cars together. You're a lot more efficient because you're not wasting any time driving, right? You just pull up here, 8:39, the cars are here, you work on it, you take a 30-45 minute break, and you get back to work, they pick it up, and that's it. Like there is no downtime, or at least no travel time. But with the mobile van, of course, like, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there, 45 minutes back, right? Depending on traffic and all that. And then account for the weather delays, the traffic, if the customer is rushing to get home, if they're not home, if they park the car all weird and you can't really get to the car comfortably, so you're just always battling the car and the environment. So, with introducing these 2 new services, it's really opened up our eyes to say, okay, well, and we're still charging cheap on our services because we're just getting into vinyl wrapping and PPF. So like, we're working our way up. We're at ground 1 right now. And as we get more cars, more experience, generate more leads, our prices will little by little increase. And again, I don't have no ego saying like, oh yeah, we're going to start off on the cheaper side. And as we get more experience, we'll work our pricing up. So even I don't mind starting cheap because I want to get the reps in. I want to get the process down. And over time, check back in mid 2024 and our prices will look completely different than what they are right now, right? That's just that's just how it is. So we looked at our business and we said, well, if we just book out more of these high paying jobs, like the mobile van can't touch that at all. And if you want to hire someone to run the van, you absolutely could, right? But then it's the opportunity cost, right? The amount of time, first of all, if you want to hire and train and manage someone, that's not an easy task. If anyone ever says like, oh, just hire someone, it's not like, that's not the way it works. It's a lot of work to hire, train, and manage someone. On top of that, if you're paying them whatever, like, I don't think people understand how much it really costs to have a W-2 employee on your payroll, right? Like if you're paying them cash and, that's not what we do here, right? Like, I don't know how to, like, that's not what we're doing. Like if you work here, you're W-2, there's other things in place that you have to account for that, if you're paying someone, call it simple, $10 an hour, it's not $10 an hour, right? Depending on what you have, your state, your whatever, that $10 an hour might actually be $14, $15, $16 an hour that you're not accounting for, right? So the expense of actually hiring someone is quite expensive. Not that it's bad, but like you have to really understand. Like if anyone says, oh, just hire someone and have them run the mobile van, it's like, bruh, it's not that simple, right? That managing people will always be the most difficult part of running any business. Like detailing by yourself in your garage or mobile, that's easy. Finding someone that is a good worker, that understands what you do, that understands the vision, that wants to help, that wants to actually push your business forward, that's a completely different thing that's like not many businesses do right. So if you want to hire someone, right, it's like, okay, let's go through all that. Let's hire, train, right, manage. We send them out. And then it's like, well, weather delay, customer delay, equipment delay, the van went down. And then now, instead of just focusing all our time and attention on the customers that we have here, right? Again, that our goal is to get more PPF, vinyl wrapping, correction, coatings jobs over the next, over the coming months. It's like, okay, so we are gonna take our attention away from this, and we're gonna go and focus that on a mobile job that's $400, which is still great, don't get me wrong, but again, it's the opportunity cost. Do we want to do that and take our time away from this, $2,000 job, $4,000 job, $8,000 job to go and manage the mobile van that, if you're sending out one person, two people, I don't know, but let's say it's at $600 to $800, which is still great. But it's like, what is the opportunity cost here, right? Because you can make the argument of like, well, if they go make $800 a day, that's whatever, however much a month, like that pays itself. And it's like, absolutely. Or you still hire someone, let's say you still hire someone and you book out the shop with two other $4,000 jobs. And again, there's no comparison between the two. And this is why it's so important to understand, like, what business do you have? Because what I'm saying and sharing is not going to be applicable to someone that wants a fleet of mobile vans or that just started, or like everyone is going to have their own path. This is my journey. This is what we're doing. In 6 months, it might change. We might not sell the van and we get a mobile crew. It's just like I'm playing it the way as it comes, and we're making the best decision as we see fit. And again, like, we've already gone through the whole, like, we've had a dedicated mobile crew run the mobile van without us ever going out, and it worked for us. Like, we had a great crew. We didn't run into problems. Like, it worked. We had that running successfully. But now, as time goes by, as your goals change, as you get more experience and wisdom, you just decide, okay, you know what, we went through that, and you weigh the pros and cons. You're like, man, well, honestly, because if for booking out the mobile van and that time and attention that goes into that, and let's say you're hiring someone, whatever, it's like, well, for half the amount of problems and hassle, if we just book one or two other high ticket items at the shop, it still makes twice as much money as if we booked out the mobile van without the headaches, without having to worry about the weather or the traffic or the equipment or the van. So you see where I'm getting at? And again, this is just my take. If you were in this exact same situation, you might want to get the van up and going, right? Every business will be different. And like, for me, especially, like, when we go out mobile, if I want to go get content, like, nothing else gets done, right? And if we have two shops here, and then there's a mobile van, it's like I can only do one thing when I'm mobile, and that's mobile. But when I'm here at the shop, I can shoot a podcast, then go help and get content, and then get on the laptop to do something, and then go help and get more content and shoot another podcast and then make a reel. But when I'm out in the field, like on a mobile job site, it's like, well, because the weather, because we need to go to the next location, because of traffic, like, we need to get this job done. I don't shoot as much content. I don't do other things. So all in all, it's just like, this is the way that I think we're looking at it. Again, 3 months from now, most of this can change, and there's two mobile vans out there running, right? So things can always change, but that's where we are with our business. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Do you plan on adding any other services going into 2024? What are they? Or what do you think about us selling the van and not putting a mobile crew out there? I'm always open to your ideas. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys on the next one.